Hello everyone. For this tutorial video, I'd like to explain how to make the bullets realistically disappear when they go off the edge of the screen, instead of sliding on the edge of the screen like they do now. In particular, if we were to go to the bullet script, and remember from the last tutorial video that we chose to use repeat until a specific condition, we can fill in the conditional now by remembering that the stage has a specific amount of pixels along the x dimension and a specific amount of pixels along the y direction. And so we would check if it is either below the minimum dimensions or above the maximum dimensions, and then cause it to hide if the condition is true. So how we would go about this is mostly a matter of preference. But I believe it would be most convenient or logical to check for the x components by themselves before we consider the y components. So that way, we are taking a methodical step-by-step approach and not tackling too many things at once. So we would use an OR conditional instead of an AND, because checking if it is less than a specific number and greater than a specific number would not make sense, as it could never be true. If the less than number is lower than the greater than number. And we should commit to memory the minimum x position is negative 240 and the maximum x position is 240, positive, not negative. So that way we can use it anytime we want to check for the boundaries along the x dimension. So now we put the conditions in like so. However, we must still check for the y components as well. So we'd have to make the code even more sophisticated by using not one, but two more OR blocks. The first one for the y components individually, and the second one to link the x and y components into one big statement. So now we do it like so. However, this conditional will still not do anything, as we have not implemented the script to actually hide the sprite yet. So we will do that now, using an if conditional, and then copy pasting the conditional that we repeat until, to check if it exceeds the boundaries. And if it does, we simply hide it. We now playtest to make sure this actually works. And we must playtest along multiple dimensions and not just one side, in order to make sure that we do not overlook anything. We can see here that there is a problem when we go above the maximum Y dimension. So we will have to revise it or tweak the maximum value. And it works now, fully intended. However, even though we have a script to make the bullets disappear, we are not fully done with the bullets yet, as you can spam bullets by holding down the mouse key, which we do not want. So you will have to fix this using a timer function. So we go back to the main character and have it reset the timer from new each time it shoots. And also reset the timer when you start the program, so that way it guarantees that it starts from the bottom or 0 seconds. We next implement the timer in the bullet sprite. So that it checks if the timer is greater than 1 before actually spawning. And we remember the timer is given in seconds. So we now play test our code. And see, strangely, the character does not shoot at all. So we check our timer function to make sure that our code is working properly. We can see the timer variable itself works, so the problem must be within our code. So we would have to check if the timer is less than 1 instead, even though that might not be intuitive. In order for any bullets to show. However, this still brings up the old problem of bullet spam. So we would fix this by checking if the timer is within a specified amount in the main character to prevent bullet spam, instead of in the bullet itself. As even with a fix on the bullet, the main character does not have any fix, and so it can still spam an infinite amount of times. So now, we do an AND conditional, so it checks if the mouse is down and the timer is within the time specified. We can also clean our code to get rid of the unnecessary if in the bullet script. Sadly, it does not work, i.e. it does not shoot to begin with. And this is because the less than script is not fitting for the main character, as you would have to shoot rapid fire in order for the timer to stay within 1 second. So we would use the timer greater than 1 instead. And now our bullets fully work as intended, disappearing and not spamming. However, we can see now that if we shoot at particular angles, the bullets will slide instead of disappearing like we want them to. Which is why it is important to play test thoroughly. So we will have to fix this and update our code accordingly. And it seems to work thoroughly even when we shoot at bizarre angles. One thing that is not a game-breaking problem, but still inconvenient, is the fact the bullets move very slowly. So we can multiply the speed to make it move faster. Like so. And we will plug and play different numbers until we get a satisfactory answer. This speed seems reasonable enough, so we will stick to this number, multiplying by 3. Now that I've explained how to make your bullets actually work realistically in tower defense games, I can explain how to make enemy AI in tower defense games next, i.e. the things you are defending the tower from.
Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.